This is Grace with Graceful Living. Today we have the second part of a two-part series of stretching for fibromyalgia of the lower body with Liz Miller.
Moving. The hips on lower back do tend to get tight. I used to find I would wake up in a tucked under tail position and it just felt like I couldn't unstick it. So to do that other than the cat-cow, I started really working into opening the hip flexors. So I'm going to show you just a few lunges and some things for the back of the hip as well. So let's get into that area. So we'll start out just working on a high lunge. This would be the easiest one. You're going to take your hands up on two blocks, draw your right knee forward, and place your right foot down. You're going to shift your weight forward, and if you can, draw your right knee out over your front big toe, lift your chest, and find a steady gaze. Breathe. If your left knee feels sore, if you have tender knees, then you're going to, I have a helper in the room. Then you might want to pad up your left knee with a towel, or you can double fold your mat. And then switch sides. Hold each side for at least 40 seconds, up to a minute if you like. In this posture, you want to think about not only drawing the left knee forward, but also drawing the right hip forward and leaning your upper body back. Slowly with each breath, try to go a little deeper into the pose. So the next one I'm going to show you is a half split. So the half split, same thing. You can keep the blocks here handy. Left knee's under your left hip, right leg is straight, and then fold forward. Any amount. You might just be sitting up here, that's fine. If you don't need the blocks, you could take them to a lower setting or set them to the side. And then slowly start making your way into a deeper variation of the pose. Some people start getting to a point where they can handle a little more and go to a place where you can relax and breathe. Once again, try to hold for at least 40 seconds. Whatever your deepest expression is, stay there. And don't expect this one to happen overnight. It can take years. So people work on splits sometimes for 10 years before they do it. Don't push it. Make sure you do both sides. You can even keep a timer handy. Stay in whichever position you like. You can do slowly, finding your deepest expression. And then eventually come down onto your block, or eventually maybe all the way down one day. The next one I'm going to show you is upward facing lizard and prone lizard. So this one's a little bit different. I set up two blocks near the front of my mat, and they're slightly to the left of center. Left knee is on the mat, and then I step my right foot right outside of the blocks. The hands are up on the blocks, whatever setting feels right for you, where you can straighten your arms. And then you start sliding your left knee back, lift your chest, and hold for about 40 seconds. After that 40 seconds, I go into the prone lizard, which you can go to a lower setting or even remove your blocks. Forearms come down, head relaxes, scoot your back knee back, and externally rotate your foot. This starts getting into the side and the back of the hip. Once again, you want to hold for 40 seconds. I'm going to show this one on the other side as well. So you want to make sure you have room to step your foot outside the blocks. I like to start out on this high setting for the first one. Place the left foot outside of the blocks. And then come into my upward lizard. You can walk the blocks back to adjust once you can handle more. Stay here for 40 seconds, and then when you finish that, we'll go into the forward fold. You can take the blocks to a lower setting. Take your forearms down if possible. Now, if you're really tight in the hips, you might not be able to reach, and you can just stay on your hands, but fold in. Come down. Rest on your forearms if possible. Slide your right knee back and externally rotate your foot. And this one, you just really want to surrender. And then hold for 40 seconds on each side and release. Alright, so the next one I'm going to show you one more stretch for the hip flexor, and then we're going to go into a back pigeon.
Okay.
This next stretch I'm going to show you, you want to fold the left knee back. This is a great stretch for the front of the quadricep and also the hip flexor. I want to create mobility here. You can want to start lying back onto your hands, or if you have sensitive knees, you can even sit up onto a block and start leaning back. Now, if you're not feeling enough of a stretch here, you're not feeling much, you can slowly make your way onto your back. You come onto your elbows first. Come all the way down and draw your left knee to the floor. Relax your hips. Now, if you're still able to go further, you can add on bending your right knee and draw your left hip towards the floor. Eventually, once that becomes relatively easy, you can slide a block under your hips, but make sure you don't progress into the next phase until you can keep the knee on the floor. It's very important. If you're just lifting the knee, you're not getting the full benefits of the posture. So you can slide the block under and then draw the knee back to the floor and relax your glutes. Draw the knee in towards the right foot. Hold for 40 seconds and release. So once again, there's 4 steps to this. I'm going to repeat it on the other side so you get an idea. So we're going to start out folding the knee back. Make sure the heel is outside of the hip. If this is uncomfortable on your knees, then you can place a block under your hips and just stay here. I've seen students in their 60s and 70s with arthritis, and they're able to progress in this pose. So don't be afraid, just to sit with it and be patient. Eventually, once you don't need the block, you can come down onto your sit bones, maybe lay back onto your elbows, onto your back. If you can keep both sit bones on the floor, bend your left knee, place the foot down. Hold each phase, if possible, for 30 to 40 seconds. If this is easy and you're not feeling much of a stretch with the right knee on the floor, then you grab a block, slide it under your hips, horizontally, right under the sit bone, or the tailbone, I should say. And then make sure your head, neck, and shoulders are on the floor. Relax, breathe in and out through the nose. You can breathe and think about the sensations you're feeling in the body. I like to visualize wherever I feel the tightness or the burn. I visualize it disintegrating or releasing, and that's what's happening. Once you finish, release the block and come up to seated. So from here, your hands are down. Move your right knee right behind your right wrist. We'll come into pigeon. So this is a good one for releasing the back of the hip. Become very sore and tight. Inhale, lift your chest. See if you can draw your left hip towards the floor. And then walk your hands forward. Make sure you relax your forehead down on either your forearms or a block. It's good to rest the forehead down. It helps calm the nervous system. If this is uncomfortable on your knee or your hip, you can slide your block underneath your right hip for support. I'll demo that from the other side. You want to hold this one for about a minute, if possible. Really try to relax and breathe slowly. Okay, let's go to the other side. So the left knee is going to come right behind the right wrist. The left shin is angled back, so the foot is right in front of my right hip. First, you're going to come up, rise, extend through the chest, extend through the entire front body. Hold here for a few breaths. And then make your way forward into your pigeon. Forehead should come down onto something, block or forearms, and then slide the block underneath your head if you need the support. Now, for anyone who finds pigeon to be too strong on their knees or their hips, you can modify by taking the figure 4 stretch. Come onto your back. Hold your right knee, place your right ankle right above your left knee. Thread the needle with your right hand and grasp on. You can grasp on either in front of the shin or behind the shin, and then follow like that. Hold for 40 seconds to a minute and then switch sides. Thread the needle, find whichever grip you prefer. I find that on top of the shin is a little stronger. And then actively draw the legs in towards your chest. Make sure this foot is relaxed. Okay, so the final stretch I'm going to show you is a spinal twist. This is a stretch for the outside of the hip, which is very hard to target. And it's good to release. It also helps release the lower back. So no matter what exercise I do, even lots of yoga, I'm still finding this helps target something that nothing else gets, so I want to show it to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay onto my back, have a block handy. Cross your left ankle right outside of your right knee. Keep the foot outside of the knee. Head, neck, and shoulders on the mat. Draw that right knee over to the left, using gentle pressure with your left ankle. Now just hold here for about 40 seconds. If you'd like some support in this, it is quite a strong stretch, at least for me. You can place a block underneath your knees. Once again, hold here for about 40 seconds. That should be about 8 breaths, like 8 deep inhales and exhales. And we'll go to the other side. So notice where my foot position is. You don't have to really bring the knees into the chest for this one. They can stay kind of low. Draw the knees over to the right. Make sure your head, neck, and shoulders are on the mat. And I like to gaze straight up to the ceiling for this one. Find a spot on the ceiling and lock in my gaze. If I feel like I'd like some support, then I slip a block underneath my legs. And just relax and breathe 40 seconds or so. Without pushing. And inhale, rise. Draw your knees into your chest. Thank you so much for showing up and listening to my yoga stretching for fibromyalgia. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Liz. That was awesome.
Thank you so much, Liz, for showing us your hip stretching routine, good for fibromyalgia and any other hip tightness that you might have. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Please go to graceinhawaii.com for more information.